Okay, so One Piece chapter 994. Let's talk about it. The title of this chapter is also known as Yamato, and we'll talk about why it's called that later on in the video. Now, for starters, this is only my initial chapter review and thoughts. I have another video out on Sunday or either Monday where I go into deeper thoughts and theories about this chapter after the official translation drops, of course, so that I can be as accurate and as thorough as possible. Okay, now boom. We start off this chapter with, of course, the cover page. And I'm pretty sure most of you guys and myself are happy to see this long, boring-ass cover page. And finally, this went on for at least like 12 weeks plus, and we all knew what was happening the whole time. It was very predictable, and the characters were pretty uninteresting. We knew Pound was the father of Lola and her sister. We knew Lola was going to end up marrying Capone by the end. And we knew they were going to set out to a new adventure. Maybe they're setting out to Wano. And we'll have some more supernova action in Wano. But as of now, I'm just happy that it ended. And I'm happy that we can get on to new cover page stories. And hopefully we get some interesting characters in the next cover page story. Alright, so now we'll get into the actual chapter and where it starts. And it kicks off right where we left off last week. We see Kaido in the sky looking down on the scabbards, and we see Kiku's arm flying off and flying to the ground. Now, I'm all for this gore and the slaughtering of the scabbards. I don't care if all of them die. I don't care if 8 of 9 of them die. I just want them to get roughed up and brutalized so that the stakes are higher in Wano. Now, we see Kinemon ignite his sword with flames, and then he presses the flames against Kiku's arm, which is sliced off. As he does this, he cauterizes the wound, sealing off the bleeding so that she can still fight. And when he's done, he asks Kiku if she's able to fight and if she can stand. Kiku gives off this like super hopeful smile, this happy smile, like everything's gonna be all right. But we all know, Kiku knows, Kinemon knows, we all know that she's lying to herself, and we all know this is the beginning of the end for the scabbards. Okay, so next is probably my favorite part of the chapter. Kaido. And Kaido, he gives off this epic dialogue where he says how he admires the scabbards, he admires their resolve, and their will to fight for Odin and to finish what was done 20 years ago. Then after he says this, we see all this smoke start to surround the scabbards, kind of how Luffy, when he goes into Gear 4, how the smoke comes out, or when he's going from Gear 4 back into base, how the smoke is all around him. And after the smoke covers the scabbards, we see Kaido in his human form. Now, guys, I'm going to be honest, this is the most menacing that I've seen Kaido look since his introduction when he fell from Sky Island and landed in front of Kid, Apu, and Hawkins. Kaido in this shot, he looks just absolutely terrifying, and it made me, feel his wrath as a Yonko again. I kind of had lost my fear for Kaido, but this shot made me feel it again. Now, as we see him in this human form, he gives off the quote, which is just epic. He says, "It is not with the advancement of times, but rather in death, when they truly obtain perfection." And he gives off a smirk. Now, he's basically saying that all the scabbards are finna die, and he'll give them true perfection in their death. And after this, I'll go more into details about this quote and what it means for Kaido's character when the official drops, because I don't want to misquote anything. If you guys want to see that, just click subscribe, click like, and I'll get it out to you guys Sunday or Monday, I'm sorry. But yeah, after Kaido says that, Kinemon says, "Cut the blasphemy, Kaido, we won't let you kill us," which we all know is cap. We know Kaido is going to kill them. And I kind of thought the whole point of the scabbards coming to Onigashima was to lay their life on the line and kind of die to Kaido. So I don't know why Kinemon is saying that. He knows he's dead. Maybe it's just some morale, I guess. But, all right, so now after that scene finishes, we catch up to Luffy, Sanji, and Jinbei, who are tearing through the floors of Onigashima. They're making great progress. And we see some enemies yelling out to watch out for Luffy and Jinbei. And we see Sanji get mad and ask why they only mentioned those two and why they didn't mention him, which is honestly pretty funny to me. Sanji's been catching the short end of the stick lately, but I honestly think this is because Oda is setting him up for something truly great and magnificent in Wano, and we'll see what he has in store for us. But yeah, then we see two more weird smile spawns. We see a giraffe smile where the guy spawns out of the mouth and he's literally hanging from the giraffe's mouth. And then we see a chicken spawn where the guy is literally in the chicken's butt, and that's where he spawned from. Oda's just having fun with these smile spawns, being wacky in true One Piece fashion. But yeah, Sanji and Jinbei, they wipe those guys pretty easily, and then they progress forward. Next, we cut back to the lower floor, and we see the Frost Demons just wreaking havoc on everybody. They're spreading friend or foe. So Kaido's side and the Alliance's side is both getting like Frost Demoned up, and it's just unleashing havoc. After that, we see a trio of Brook, Chopper, and Robin, and they're trying to conceive a plan to deal with the Frost Demons. And they decide to go for Queen, who has the antibody. Now, one thing I want to say is that Queen is doing like some really heinous and savage acts. And whenever we see a villain do like really grimy acts in One Piece, they always have like a solidifying end where they get like just a super punch from a protagonist or something like that. Think back to the Elephant Sword guy from Water 7, or even the Celestials in Sabaody. Lastly, we catch up to Sasaki and Yamato, and Momonosuke and Shinobi and Momonosuke and Shinobu are asking Yamato why she decided to call herself Odin and why she's calling herself that. Yamato then gets into her backstory, and she tells Momonosuke that she was present at Odin's execution, and she tells him how much it meant to her and how much it impacted her life, and that she's basically for their side. And while she's explaining that, she literally tanks this big explosion like it's nothing, giving off Big Mom and Kaido vibes. I guess she is the daughter of Kaido. And to be honest, ever since Yamato got introduced, I've been wanting to see her go all out. I knew she was strong, and this is only the start. So she tanks that, then she bats up her club and swings it like a baseball bat, and she unleashes this devastating ranged attack, instantly KOing one of Sasaki's men. And Sasaki looks at this attack like he didn't know that Yamato had this much power. So I'm guessing Yamato's been holding back this whole time against them, or her whole time on Wano. But yeah, she unleashes that devastating attack, and then she says the quote of the chapter title and says, "I'm also known as Yamato." And that's where the chapter ends. And the most unfortunate part about this chapter is that there's a break next week. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up this chapter review, guys. I'm going to give this chapter a D rating of 8 out of 10. You guys let me know what you thought of the chapter down in the comments. Subscribe and like if you want to see more content like this. And I'm out.
It's pretty damn sad. I'm starting to lose faith. I must admit, this stuff is starting to depress me.